Hi, you guys. I'm just waiting for people to come on. I'm here. I'm coming on. Hope everybody's doing well. I am just trying to figure out some things, so please bear with me. I'm not saying much because I'm trying to, figure this out. What happened? I am just trying to get people in. I am so sorry. Hi, everybody. Thank you for showing up, showing out, coming in. I know I never give anybody warnings. I'm trying to notify people that I am live, and I hope everything is good. I hope everybody's doing fabulous and happy belated 4th of July. Um, if you have any comments or anything like that, just put them down at the bottom. And what are we talking about? There's going to be several things that I'm going to be sharing today. I just wanted to really come on and just, it's raining in Austin. It's raining. And so I thought I would catch up on some live content, talking about the aspect of who we are. And as you see in my inbox is my list of what I see happening in my world. And I think like when you are a woman in this great shift, we must be intentional about the direction that we see ourselves heading, acknowledging our feminine energy. Guess what we are doing? We have a responsibility as the feminine energy in this shift to really be phenomenal. We can actually change our society. And I just posted on TikTok that women really determine the moral status of our culture. Men are there to give women a place of solitude, safety, protection. But we have gone on for many eons that women have not been safe, women have not been protected. And so we often ask ourselves, like, why? Why are women, I hear this from the guys. I'm like when I'm doing coaching and I'm coaching, masculine and like, what's going on with women? Why are they acting like this? Why they're doing, they're not feminine anymore. They're not this anymore, and they're not that. Women have been designed by design to be able. They are created to be able to survive because if they don't survive, the existence of children, the existence of this reality will not happen. Just like the woman is the seed of life, masculine energy fertilizes that seed. And in many cultures in our civilization, and I'm not just talking about in the human race, I'm talking about in all existence, the man is the fertilizer of the new creation. This shift had to happen to rectify the damage of a system that is not in purpose, of a system that's not in its design, a system that has not been stewarded properly. Is that the best way to say it? There is a misalignment within our culture of connection. And we are seeing it. I mean, I see it behind the chair. I see it when I'm coaching. I see it. Um, um, the anger that is risen up in the feminine energy, the anger that's risen up in the masculine energy. Like, didn't I say this in 2019? We are definitely going into the war of the roses. Didn't I say this? And if you ever, like, I would tell y'all, look, like, I don't know if it's on Netflix or it's on Hulu, watch the War of the Roses. They had such anger against each other. They're living in $1 million house and they literally destroyed themselves because they could not get along. They could not bring this harmony and they could not balance their vibration. So they literally, it was like two Tauruses fighting against, and you know how stubborn Tauruses are. Like nobody's gonna bend. Nobody's gonna give it up. Nobody's gonna say, hey, okay, okay. I compromise here. And I don't know why I felt this so strongly. I do not know why my heart desire was to really look at this emphasis that is going on with the masculine and the feminine energy. And as we see, we had the reason the breakdown has come, and you can see it all throughout our society. What do? We just watched the debate. Out loud, we just watched the debate. Who are doing the debates? That, you know what, this is like those debates are like a illustration of what is going on in the psyche of the masculine energy. They can't even communicate. They can't communicate with each other, and they're definitely not communicating with the feminine energy. And when they do communicate, it's like sticking your foot in your mouth. That literally changes your life. It will change and it will be a direct hit against all that you are as a king in our reality. And as you notice, the kings in our reality, because they fail to protect the woman's womb, we're seeing it on stage. And this is not a bash man thing, or this is not, I'm just giving you examples. And this is not every man. There are some good men out there. There's a lot of good men out there. They're just not being seen because we have so much negative energy when it comes to what is going on in the psyche of the masculine energy. But also, it is directly happening with the feminine energy because we all, as a collective, have to take responsibility. Females are angry at how they've been treated. And I feel also as the feminine energy for myself. When I did my inner work, I had to take responsibility for my actions in the collective and how I behaved as a feminine energy. So as you collectively begin to wake up, because it's happening to everyone. Now, if you choose to awaken, and if you choose to get and feel and see the signs of awakening, and you choose to ignore it, that is your choice. You don't have to wake up, but you will live in the dark because you will not see what's happening. Because what the light does, it shines light on the darkness. So you can find your way through what is happening. We just had a 4th of July. That's supposed to have been like a beautiful thing about our democracy, who we are as Americans. But we are not who we used to be. Let me say that again. We are not who we used to be. And I feel like the chaos is affecting us all. It's not just affecting the feminine energy, even though a lot of what I speak about, it is about the feminine energy. A lot of what I speak about is to be encouraging to the feminine energy during their great awakening. But I'm also here to give to the masculine energy understanding of why he cannot control her. And the reason you can't control her is because she was not meant to be controlled in the first place. What we have lost in this reality is the purpose of why she's here and the purpose of why he's here. And women are almost like their husband's child. So instead of a man having 5 kids, he's got 6 kids because he's talking about his wife. It doesn't work like that. A relationship is a partnership. It is a partnership. It's two people. When one person is not living in their truth, living in their healed self, because two unhealed people equals disaster. So this is why you have the back and forth, because the War of the Roses, the reason they have back and forth, they all both were unhealed. And everybody's blaming everyone. But your actions, and I'm going to say this again, your actions speak louder than what you say from your mouth. You have to be that person that is awakened, that is healed, that is healed. And women are they have their father wound. They have their father wound that they have to heal. And like I set intentions for my life because I want to live a well-rounded life. And the only way you can live in a well-rounded life, you must heal yourself. You must forgive yourself. And then you must forgive the self that was in pain from another person. And you got to heal from that person. You can't allow the person that caused you so much pain. And a lot of us here, we sit in a room placing blame on everything rather than taking responsibility for our own actions and how we are playing a part in the disaster because we have not learned how to come together. And so many times it's just like and I think I mentioned this is that when I'm talking to when I'm coaching my clients that are males, I had to find out like why that every time I have a coaching session with the masculine energy, I am so exhausted. You would think it would be the other way around because women have a lot of energy. But no, it's the other way around. Because at least the woman's energy, um, she's caught up in what her friends think, what her children, she's been a good mom, if she's been, if she's a good single person, if she's a good friend, if she's a good daughter, if she's a good this, if she's a good that. But when it comes to the man, everything has been so based in the physical, how things look, but you can't have all this weight on how things look if you're sitting back on the sidelines doing absolutely nothing. It wasn't meant that way. And just because you go out and work, you think you've done your duty. So you come home, sit your feet on the, in a recliner, and you lean back, and you want to be served when you come home from work. But you're not being a servant as a man. Because the moment you start serving her, she will meet every need because it's in your servitude of her. She finds rest. And when she finds rest, she is able to be more valuable to you and she will not nag you. And if a woman realizes her true worth is not in pleasing everybody in her neighborhood, in her community, in her family, she will be more of a service to her man. And so it's so interesting because I decided to come on a rainy night. What prompted me to come on because I'm dating. You guys know I'm dating. I'm dating, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I can't even like it's crazy because I've dated. Right now I just went on a date with a Sag. I went on a date, I'm just gonna be honest. I do love Scorpio men. I love Scorpio men. I do not know why. I love Scorpio men, but that is the thing I love. I love Scorpio men. I feel like they get me. The ones that are healed. But I just went out with a Sag. I had an amazing time. I had an amazing time. But what I'm seeing by And you know what? Sometimes I have to like really shut down when I go on a date because I'm coaching men, and by the end of the day, coaching men, I'm so pissed off at the men because they don't even know why. They don't have a clue. And the ones that do, they're gurus. They're literally gurus because you understand the feminine energy. Mwah, I love those men. Because you don't have to tell them. Because you know why? They're tapped into their heart. We keep having this conversation. We keep having this conversation. I don't even know how many times I've had this conversation. You can't be an effective mate for anyone, for anyone, unless you live in your heart. Nothing's going to happen until you learn those fundamentals. Your heart is very important to the message of relationships. Relationships cannot thrive without the heart being tapped in. Like the the heart is actually the battery to the relationship, not the things you do. That's some mind. That's some mind stuff. That the mind stuff is not going to happen. It's not going to happen for you because the mind stuff. That's only, that's like having a car. I'm going to speak in man's terms. That's like having a car and having everything down to the nth degree. You got your carburetor going. You got your brakes are good. You got the alternator going. You got your oil in your nice car. You got your tires blowing up, but without an engine, it's not going nowhere. Your heart is the engine that drives connection. And the reason we have had to have a shift in this time, at this period, because the heart has been driven by systems out of people. People are not in their hearts. They're in fear, anger, and hopelessness. And then until you find the love, because love brings light, light shows you the truth. The truth is what heals you. No matter how hard the truth may seem to be, you have to see the truth in order to heal. I don't understand when a person is in pain. They go into self-sabotage of themselves rather than taking the time to heal. And there's two things you can see with this because isolation is good, but isolation can be bad in times of healing also. And the reason I say this is some people isolate in pain so they don't have to deal with withdrawal. Get what I'm saying? Some people isolate themselves in pain so they don't have to deal with withdrawal. So they don't have to be navigators of their divine truth and what is exactly going on in their lives. And why do I keep coming up with the same result? With no reprieve, with no help, with no choice. Why is everything always happening to me? Why am I always the fall guy? Why do I watch people on the sideline get everything they want and I get nothing? It's all perspective. It is truly all perspective. I don't know if anybody's comment, because I can't see my comment wall. I cannot see it. I do not know where it went. But forgive me. So, with that said, we are living in an unprecedented time, and you have a choice in this unprecedented time. See what this truly means to you, or to be in fear because you don't know what it means. You can either see what it means to you, or live in fear because you don't know what it means. And just last week, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. No, it was last week. I took myself to dinner, and where I went to dinner, they were playing music, and I was having a great time. But even at that time, that when I was observing people, I was literally observing people, and I was just in awe that being an intuitive and sitting in a room of people that are just shut down. They're doing all emotions, but they're shut down. Do you get what I'm saying? They're going out, they're playing, they're partying, they're doing it, but they're truly shut down. And why are we feeling this? We are feeling this because we're uncertain, and we don't know, we don't want to be certain. We really don't want to be certain. Excuse me. I'm going to take a little commercial break right now. This is coconut water, no alcohol. I've been dry for 2 years. Not that I drink a lot, but when I did my work, I wanted to make sure I was clear. And so our commercial break is, hi, I'm Sarah. I am a coach, hairstylist, and I help people find their true self. So in my journey of helping people make their hair look fabulous, I realized that not only was their hair a hot mess, they were a hot mess inside. And I wanted to know, how could I take my gift as a hairstylist and roll it into coaching while I'm fixing their hair problem? We can fix the heart problem. So that's when I began to coach. And to be honest with you, I love them both. And pretty soon, my website is www.heygorgeousju.com. That is my extension business. I've been a owner for 20 years, and please drop by. Right now, we're doing a lot of changes on the website, so do be patient. Again, that website is www.heygorgeousju.com. So, like and follow, share this if you think it's going to help someone. But I came here really excited about this shift. And even though it looks really gray this Saturday, because I mean, literally, it's raining outside, there is hope because you are in a magnificent time. And that magnificent time is to see it all play out. You remember in 2019 on Facebook, I said, it's going to be like we're in a theater watching a movie while the world plays out all the shenanigans that have been happening in our world for eons, you guys. This didn't just happen in the last 4 years. This didn't just happen in the last 10 years. This has been happening for a long time. And now it's hit ahead. And let me give you a story. My background is creative art. I've been a creative artist for almost maybe 15 years. And I was doing a show in San Antonio, and one of the shows that I was doing, I was on Oxygen, and we were doing a show for Oxygen. And part of this show, I had to do research because whenever you're doing a show, they always have some kind of theme. And so I tried to research the theme as a creative artist so I could show my team what direction we're going. So I am actually doing a study on the Aztecs. And as I was doing the study on the Aztecs, I started being very curious, like, what happened to them? What wiped them out? Why are there no Aztecs? You can see their ruins, you can see, the tapestry that's there did, you can see their drawings, you can see what they did. Like there's a fingerprint that they were here. And as I began to read into the Aztecs, what happened was it was a king that was betrothed to this queen from another tribe, and this king wasn't a very nice king. And literally, my show was all about, like, I literally had to do theatrics, you know. I will show. I do have pictures, but I will show you. I had to really, like, really had to do pictures of everything, right? And especially for the advertisement of the show. So we're here doing the show, and as I'm studying about the Aztecs, I was blown away. So this king, he has to marry this girl from a neighboring tribe, right? And so part of this tribe, the parents would bring the daughter to this tribe and offer the daughter to the son in marriage. And this is how they did it back then. And so then they would have this big ritual, and they would put the king and the queen on this pedestal, and this king literally, after he marries her, he's on the pedestal and he cuts her throat and kills her. He kills this woman. And this is the history. I'm not telling a lie. This is, this is what happened in history. I am just repeating what happened in history. I'm not, you know. And so what happened was the family from the daughter that was unalive, her family, they were just devastated. And this guy is having a feast, partying, was very happy. It was like crazy. And so what the tribe did of the queen, they began to shut down all their systems. And it was the demise of the Aztecs. Now, I said that to say this. This is how important the feminine energy is. And the reason there has been, I call it an invasion of some sort, there has to be an invasion because the feminine energy is in danger. And she's in danger, and nothing can exist without her seed. You get what I'm saying? There's no existence. So it was so interesting because that was a very sobering moment for me to really realize that one king's action destroyed his whole ancestry, destroyed everything. Not one, you, and I would suggest you fact check this, not one aspect. You got their ruins. You can tell they existed. You can tell they were here. You can tell they had a very thriving society, but all because he murdered the most sacred thing, and that is a woman's heart, a woman's love, and a woman's connection. And you best believe if you're a man and you've been married to women, we're in the air of karma. I think I even had a content creator even said that what's going on with the man right now is the air of karma because you don't have to do it. It's just the law of source. It's the law of this world. There's always a cause and effect. There's always an effect that will cause a reaction. And so when I did that study on the aspects, I started really understanding how powerful um, women are. And that's when I started really taking notes on the power of the feminine energy. And that's why it's so important for the feminine energy to understand her power because she is a portal. And don't you best believe whenever I go online, I sage and I pray because we are a portal. And you don't know in this reality right now who's ingenuous and who's not. Well, because people, I mean, look at our news. I mean, you can't even look at the news nowadays. It's crazy what is going on. And the one thing I want to tell women, like understanding that you are a portal, that putting yourself in situations is a direct attempt and an attack against your soul. I hope you understand that. And I know these Instagram girls think they're, I'm freedom, I'm doing this because of my freedom. You're not free. You're actually in bondaging yourself even more. The more you take off your clothes, the more you expose your body, you are opening yourself to, because you don't know where these people are coming from that are feeding off your portal. And I know this is a hard thing to see, but we're not fighting. Our fight is not what we see. Our fight is what we cannot see. And those are far beyond us. Like you're talking about the spiritual realm. And until, some of you guys that will come across my feed and hear what I say will not understand a doggone thing that I'm saying. But those that are awakened, those that are awoken, they will understand what I am saying. Because you cannot open your heart to negativity and don't think it will draw it. And you know, to y'all defense, the girls that think it's okay to just be all out there like that, what I would suggest is you start watching what is going on in our society, how women are being taken, children are being taken. This is all a direct. It's like you have to connect the dots to see the whole picture. Whenever you take portions of things, that's why I'm saying I'm trying to connect the dots with you. Think about, like I just did a blog on TikTok, and the one thing that I said is that men are not desiring women and not having intimacy with their women because the desire is gone. Like you can see it, any woman of your desire on Instagram, Facebook, all the social medias, and even naked, because it used to be you could even do it on Facebook like that. It used to be you had, like, if I talk about, it's so crazy because like here, like when I was on Facebook and I'm still on Facebook, but I don't talk about things on Facebook. What was so interesting for me is that I would be talking about things for educational purposes to help the community to get ready for what happened in 2020. I don't know why, but I had a lot of clients that were techies, so I had some intel about 2020. So I was expressing it. But what was so interesting, I got put in jail for community guidelines. But yet, the same night that I was blogging, there was a woman lying on her stomach, butt naked, and you had 1,000 men gawking at her, and it was a live stream. You had like 1,000 men gawking at her, just hoping. She had them so in a loop, just hoping, and she would turn over on her back. It was so hilarious. And they were just patiently waiting, hoping that she would just turn over on her back. And so she doesn't even realize the moment she took off her covering, those, this are clothes, she was baked. And, I'm not trying to be gnarly here, but how many, come on, girls, let's be honest, how many pictures in your lifetime that men have sent you to your phone? How many times? Think about it, in your lifetime. You probably would lose count of men sitting their private, whatever, on their phone, showing themselves masturbating on your phone. Men do this. Now, could you imagine what they're doing online while their wives is probably putting the kids to bed? They're in their office saying they're working, and you're thinking you're having freedom of choice. And that's okay if you like men looking at you masturbating. Don't you think that they're not masturbating while they're looking at you in the office while their wives are putting the kids down? They already got off. Why would they sleep with you at night? Because they have social media. So what they do, because a man only can have so many nuts. A woman, she can continue and continue and continue. But men, you don't know what they're doing in their office. You don't know what they're doing in their private place, their man cave. They're watching unsolicited porno. Now, it may be soft, but and one thing I said, the more the economy starts, people get so uncertain, they begin to fear. What do men want to do when they're afraid? They want to please themselves. And in fact, they said during COVID, um, there was an all-time high in porno. And so these are subjects that I'm talking about because they're so important to understand that there is a system failure in our society. And it wouldn't be nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong with it if that's what floats your boat. Because really, everybody used to walk around naked, at one time or another. But now it's being sexualized. And in the primitive, I can't even say it. In the old days, in the old days, there was a sacredness to it. Many African cultures, they still are naked. But it's what our society has done with nakedness that has caused it to be a problem. They have sexualized it. So men are not interested. And that's crazy because that's not the nature of masculine energy. So as you really think about it, and as you start looking at it, you start realizing that we are in a system glitch. Everything has to be redone. And so the reason things are happening all around us that we don't understand is and I don't call it global warming because global warming for, just logical, global warming is not coming from the mass of us little people. It's coming from factories, big industries. But the change of our society, this flip that we're going through, happens every 1,000 years. So this is something not new to the earth. It's new to us because we haven't had it in our lifetime, and nor have our ancestors in our lifetime. So if you really think about the earth the sky, everything is regenerating itself. So what is happening with the people? We are regenerating ourselves. Things are changing. And in this change, how men deal with this opportunity to really truly be connected to themselves, to allow themselves to heal from the society, how they view women, how they've been misogynizing women. We're not living in a circus here. We're living in real to real life where changes are coming very fast. Sometimes I want to tell you guys my visions, but sometimes I even think that you would not even be able to tolerate the visions that I have. But we got a lot of stuff coming up, you guys. And I just want you to know it is just very important that we find our hearts and that we start asking questions about our hearts. Begin to do an evaluation, right? And I think my list is like 10. My list, you can see it in my comments. I think I have 10 on my list. You create a list and realize that you're here. If you were Jesus, what would you do? If you were Mother Teresa, what would you do? If you were a shaman, what would you do in this world? How would you play out your life if you knew the God inside of you? How would you really play out this life if you knew that every decision that you made will influence, will be a direct influence to other people? How would you truly really live? Would you live in your truth? And would you be a person of truth? Because right now, we are in the most important, crucial part of this reality that we have ever seen in our entire existence. We are going to see a lot, and it's just begun. So, like and follow, thank you for hearing me out. And you can find me on TikTok, on Hey What You Shoot. You can find me on Facebook, Sarah Williams. You can find me on IG. I think on IG, I'm gorgeous, yes. So look me up and have a beautiful